Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning, it's Coffee Ann on ON, AM, and FM. On Monday morning, it's March 6th in the year 2023. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan. Melissa Murray's here. Good morning to you, Melissa.
Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday. And Dave Richards is with us as well, except he's out of the studio at the moment, but he'll join us in just a little bit. First thing I want to get to, Melissa, we'll do a little sports thing this morning. We did have a note that was already written in, just talking about the Providence College Friars, the men's basketball team. On Saturday, what a pitiful performance. They lost. Not prepared to say the least, standing around the whole game. They look like a Division III team. To get humiliated at your house is just disgusting. To play like this again, they don't even remotely deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. Well,
tell us how you really feel.
I think the Friars have lost their last 3 out of 4. They're picking the absolute wrong time of the season to play bad. The season has come to an end. Their next game is Thursday at the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden. They play Thursday afternoon to see if they can win that. They will go to the NCAA tournament because they have enough wins to make it into that tournament, but I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're reading. There's an old sports cliche: stop reading your own press clippings about how great you are.
Right.
And just go out there and start playing like you really are, but don't read how great you are.
That's true.
So we'll see what happens with the Friars as they will continue on, and we'll see what happens this coming Thursday. But they have to play a lot better. I got all the faith in Ed Cooley to turn the team around. So there we go. Bruins are playing great. They're 10 in a row, and another win on Saturday. Celtics are not doing so great. People comparing the Celtics to the Friars. They've lost the last couple of their games, and they lost in double overtime yesterday, so things are not so great with the Celtics right now. And the Red Sox have not lost in preseason play. Not that means anything.
I'm sure Dave has opinions on that.
Not too much. It's preseason, and
right.
it's no big deal. The starters play for the first 3 innings, and then that's about it. We bring in all the rookies. So it doesn't really mean much of anything. So anyway, moving along, you'll be happy to know, Melissa, that the Winters Elementary School in Pawtucket has now been open for 2 days. Let's hear it for them. Hooray.
Yay.
They opened last Friday after heating issues finally were absolved, and they opened today.
Okay.
Nothing bad happened over the weekend. No new catastrophes at that school.
Fingers crossed.
I think they're going to make it the whole day today.
I hope so.
Let's congratulations to them and the Pawtucket School Department for getting the newest school that's probably been open for 2 months. They got a lot of explaining to do.
Right. Someone does.
Somebody
does.
We're using the bad heat coils or whatever they're using. I don't know what the problem is.
Right.
But something's happening that caused the burst pipes down there, and but now they think they have it under control.
I hope they do.
So we move forward.
And hopefully, hopefully it'll be fine, and they won't find out, next winter when it's really cold, because we're going into the season. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I know I'm being optimistic, but that we'll have to turn our heat off soon.
Right. You feel bad for the young kids who get first and second graders, especially them. You tell them, oh, this is exciting. You get a new school to go to. How exciting is this? And go there, and then all of a sudden you tell them, well, you can't go there anymore. You got to go over here. It's broken. That's right. You got to go somewhere else. Why is it broken? Why isn't it fixed? Why is it taking so long? If adults don't understand why it's taking so long, it's tough to explain it to a child. So, but they're back in their school, so hopefully everything goes just swimmingly over there. We had a news story this morning that the Rhode Island Blood Center says there's an emergency, and they are low. They are low on blood. They're down to a 1 to 2 day supply. They should be at 5 to 7, and they're blaming it on the winter storm earlier last week. Caused a cancellation of nearly 100 appointments. People are just not going to go out and donate blood if the weather's not good. So appointments can be made. You can call the Rhode Island Blood Center, 401-453-8383, and that's the one in Providence, I believe. Now, is the one in Woonsocket, are they open anymore up there in Diamond Home Road?
Yes.
Yes, they are?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you can always go there, which is probably a lot more convenient to the people here in Woonsocket. Just go up there and see if you're eligible to donate. And if you can, great.
Yeah, I think there's a shortage, not just here, but,
Is it nationwide?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So get out there and donate if you can, if you're able to, and if you
Okay.
qualify.
All right, Melissa, since you're here, Dave and I were talking a little bit about this earlier. There's a bill in the House and the Senate. We need more social workers in the schools.
Mm-hmm.
Do we?
I believe we do.
Really?
But,
I don't know. Here's the rub.
Here's the thing. When the General Assembly mandates curriculum and mandates all of these things,
Yeah.
how are we going to get there? Because there's a shortage of social workers in general, and we don't have enough people to fill the spots.
That's
so
all right. Don't worry about it. If the General Assembly says you will have the social workers,
Magic.
It's not important if they exist or not. You will have them.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Dave's being kind of facetious there.
I am.
Yes.
Kinda.
Well, I think so.
I think pointedly
Or s-
facetious.
All right.
Oh, by the way, good morning, Joe. Good
Hi-
morning.
hi there,
Melissa.
Dave.
Good
Good
morning,
morning.
everybody. I'm
So-
sorry I was taken away from the studio at the very outset.
That's fine. Now, the legislation will require all public schools,
He,
not
he
the private.
obviously didn't miss me. He says, that's fine.
Well, we knew you were coming back. All public schools, K through 12, to have at least one full-time certified school social worker for every 250 students.
Right, yeah.
So let's just take one school.
That's right.
Like K through 5 is going to have 500 kids.
Right?
Okay, so that's
two.
that's two just for
Just
that
for elementary school.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just one school.
And filling the positions is going to be problematic.
It's all about unintended consequences. And then you go to the high school over here,
All right.
and they're going to have 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at 5. Plus, you got salary benefits and stuff like that, because people who are social workers, who train to be social workers, are working for CAP agencies and places like that. And next thing you know, the cities and towns are going to use ARPA money to pay them salaries that they can't sustain later, and they're going to move from the CAP agency. Now, the CAP agencies won't be able to do their thing. Just one little decision. Wouldn't it be nice? And we're the legislature, so we don't have to care if it's a smart move. If we say it, it's done.
The bills will direct the General Assembly to allocate $2 million in the fiscal 2024 budget to
that's
hire the
next
additional
year's
social
budget
workers.
that won't get here for 2 years. Come on. You would have had to retroactively put it in this year's budget in order to fund it for next school year.
I think in theory, it's a great idea.
You sure?
Can it come?
If it can
can
be
it
done.
come to fruition?
Yeah.
Is it possible? Is it feasible?
Sponsors of the bill say the mental, social, educational disruption caused by the pandemic has made the need for more mental health support in schools greater
That's
than
true.
ever.
That's true.
I do agree with that. At the high school level, instead of the high school level has guidance counselors.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't they be utilized? I mean, they may not be licensed social workers, but
Right.
can't
Different
they just
training.
be utilized?
I think that's
Oh, no.
just different.
And Joe, are we even taking a moment to step back 5 or 6 more steps and realize what the real end game is here? The story behind the story behind the story.
Is
They want cops out of the schools.
what's wrong with the school resource officer?
They want them replaced by someone without a gun.
Why?
Well, Joe, I guess you just don't understand where we're going here with the woke generation. But the end game
Yeah.
after the end game is they want cops out because we're flooded with social workers. Well, this
All
whole
right.
thing of defunding the police department.
Oh, I thought that went away, but
Well,
okay.
I know, but it was the way it was publicized was irresponsible.
Yeah, it's done
because
very
it
poorly.
wasn't.
Yeah.
Although I disagree with them, I understand they're not stupid. They didn't say we got to get rid of all cops. They said we have to replace cops in many situations with people who don't have lethal force. And that was, if they had ever sold it that way, they could have got some traction.
Yeah.
And they could have made some movement. But once again, the problem gets to be people who are passionate, who are on one side of an argument and are passionate, frequently go too far, and the resulting pushback slows progress for their cause. And this is what happened with those liberal folks who kept saying, let's get rid of the cops, let's get rid. No. It's reallocate the funds to lesser. No, wait a minute. If you say the word lesser, somebody's going to take it wrong. That's not how I mean. Not lesser people, but a lesser force. In other words, let's reduce the force to something more negotiable. In other words, use more diplomacy than. But cops are being taught diplomacy too. Mm-hmm. It's just that the liberals see abuses and they're overreacting, and now their overreacting is causing pushback, and nobody's moving forward very fast.
Do you see that, Melissa, as the end game?
Let's ask our
I
liberal
do.
Is to
senator
get
here.
cops out of schools?
I think that is the end game.
Okay.
I think I will agree with you that defund the police, that slogan was
God.
just...
It did them no service at all.
Absolutely not, right? And so I even talked about it during the campaign, but framing it as let's take the burden off police officers so they can actually do their job. They were hired to be police officers. They weren't hired to be, to resolve domestic disputes and work with folks who are,
They were hired
having
to enforce the laws.
Right. And now they have to be,
And I always thought
therapists.
I always thought it was a band-aid approach to have someone who was sworn to enforce the law be so close and have one specific assignment to oversee people who are too young to be held accountable by the law.
Yeah.
Talk about a really convoluted mission for these school resource officers.
Right.
My goodness.
Right.
And they
Right.
spend so much of their time trying to be friendly with kids who, generally speaking, their friends change by the month. This month I'm feeling very friendly to you. Next month you're not my friend anymore. So if someone were to look with some perspective, but then again, when people who care an awful lot and who are passionate about trying to help society see all these wrongs, they'll reach for anything to try to make a difference. And it takes people with some sort of perspective, longevity. When I say longevity, I mean a maturity, having lived enough to see what works and what doesn't work so frequently, to moderate the passions of people who want to immediately fix all hurt in the world.
Well, there are some legislators who really do believe that we should defund the police.
Well, I'm sure there are.
Literally. But
they have a right to be here, just like we have a right to be here.
But I think in general, it is and firefighters and EMTs also. You're going into a situation,
right?
You're having to do all these jobs that you weren't hired for. And so.
And my understanding, by the way, is that the reason why fire trucks roll with rescue wagons now is that the EMTs have to specialize on the health situation that they encounter at the scene. And then there are things like getting a car moved, getting the electric power shut off, things like that. EMTs can't be bothered with this, and the fire department takes care of that.
Right.
Crowd control. Fire department will make sure that a police officer is on scene and step in until the police arrive.
Yeah, right.
So it really, a lot of people saw it as a spendthrift thing, a waste of money, some sort of union ploy for more firefighters or something. And I remember that argument, and I said, the highly specialized training of an EMT, they should not have to worry about whether someone's crowding them and stepping their hand or someone's screaming and being disruptive while they're trying to focus on the victim.
Yeah, right. And and going back to what we spoke with Richard Severia on Friday about, you need to work on this person for 30 minutes and you need a highly specialized and highly trained group of individuals to be able to administer medical care that will keep the person alive and stabilized until they can get to the hospital. And if there's chaos going on beyond that, how do you do both? You can't.
You can't. You have to have someone else watching your back so that you can do your work.
Yeah, and especially if the house is burning down and you need to keep these folks, alive and have that care. So yeah,
of course,
I
only history
agree.
will tell us whether or not you're right or not. But I think that the people who have been tagged with this defund the police misnomer may not be wrong in replacing police officers with people like social workers, trained social workers to handle the domestic stuff and kids misbehaving and stuff like that. They may not be wrong, and history will prove one way or the other. But what we did was an overreaction, and now you've got to somehow get it done. But if they keep overreacting, progress is slowed.
Right, because folks are going to double down and push back on that.
Exactly. I would.
And I see, ideally,
And I consider myself a moderate.
law enforcement and mental health workers working in tandem to assess the situation. Okay, is this your situation or is this my situation? Okay, I can
Oh,
take it
yeah,
from
then
here.
you get demarcation.
But ideally, that's what would happen.
So we kept Joe off the air for a little while.
But you also said at the beginning we don't have enough social
But we
workers.
we don't.
So how do we
don't.
how do we give them to the schools and to the police?
Right.
I think we have
There's
to.
just not enough people.
You're right.
To
There's
quote
not
a
enough
big-
of anybody right now,
Yeah.
right?
Quote the song Ball of Confusion by the Temptations. Politicians say more taxes will solve everything.
Everything, Ed will. Okay, great. All right, we're going to take a break on the Coffee and program. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240. More coming your way.
House favorites at George's Restaurant include New England beef stew, Yankee meatloaf, stuffed peppers, and the Reuben and Rachel sandwiches. In the mood for something new? Try their steak and spinach wrap with feta cheese served with hand-cut fries. For breakfast, George's Restaurant is serving a few new omelets like the pastrami omelet with cheese and onions or the ham and broccoli omelet. Try the new or the familiar at George's Restaurant. 793 Harris Avenue, Woonsocket. Open 7 days a week. Takeouts welcome. 769-1036.
Call George's Restaurant at 769-1036 for takeout.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
WOON Woonsocket Radio, ON AM and FM.
It is Coffee and here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Melissa Murray. They're both here at the coffee and the table. And let's see, other things going on. All right. Roger Williams University, the law school at Roger Williams, has become one of the first in the U.S. to make critical race theory part of its core legal curriculum. The Providence Journal reports Roger Williams School of Law in Bristol started the class requirement in 2022. Students demanded the need for the class in response to the murder of George Floyd. The law school is reportedly encouraging its professors to incorporate the concepts of inclusivity and racial bias in their teaching across the board.
It's demanded by students
Yes.
who are paying tuition.
Yes.
This is what we want to learn, and we're going to pay for it. Very simplified. We
remember
want
when-
to pay for this.
I just
Okay.
remember when I went to
Okay.
school, and when we said we wanted something, the school said, no.
Right.
It was no,
Right.
we're not doing that. But I wish I knew a little bit more about this. I know critical race theory is highly criticized.
It's another like trigger term,
Yeah.
but what it actually drills down to is very different. And I'd just be interested to see exactly what the points they are teaching, and they could have called it something else, right?
Yeah.
And then there wouldn't be controversy. It's
Yeah, I
all
think
of
the,
these.
the word race is in there, so it perks your ears up. It's like
CRT,
what are you telling me?
CRT is what
Yeah.
everybody's calling it now,
Yeah.
right? So every time you say that, trigger, both sides get triggered. But
Yeah.
okay, what are they actually teaching, and is it logical, and is it beneficial to folks in learning law? Probably.
I'm surprised.
Can't
it's-
imagine they wouldn't be.
I'm surprised it's not going out to the entire university, and it's just the law school students down there.
Yeah, maybe it's a kind of a pilot. See how this
See how it
does.
works out?
How this works out,
Okay.
right?
So
See what kind of reaction and pushback we get.
see what else the students demand. We
It
need
could have been a compromise too,
we need to
right?
be
So like,
taught this.
okay, we'll add it to our law department.
Yeah.
That could have been a compromise.
All right. So they're teaching critical race theory at the law school at Roger Williams, Dave,
Well,
because
I
the
think
students demanded it.
I think if you're spending almost $100,000
Yeah,
for an
that's about
education,
right.
you should have some clear understanding of all these things that you may come up against while you're out there in the field. So I think when people hear that, they might be thinking that the school is promoting it, and that may not be accurate.
Right.
I don't know what their position is on the matter, but teaching it and knowing about it. Again, remember, I'm the old guy here. I remember back in the 60s where things were a little bit more academically minded, where, you know, you could have an opinion that I think is abhorrent, but I will fight so that you can express yourself, and hopefully nobody will take action on what you say, but you should be able to say it. You should be able to put it out there, and that's how our society is supposed to run. And so if you're going to be, and what really bothers me in this social cycle is that there's such intolerance out there. If you're going to be so intolerant that you're not even going to teach anybody about it, well, it seems to me that that's not the way to have a healthy discussion and a lively debate on public issues.
All right. Well, we'll see if it moves on to the rest of the school down at Roger Williams. It's just for the law students right now, and then maybe it'll branch out to the rest of the colleges at some point.
I don't know why they would, because
I don't know.
it's basically a law thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's see now. The Providence Journal is reporting that the Rhode Island Supreme Court has ordered Attorney General Peter Nerona's office to renew the concealed carry permit for a Providence gas station and auto shop owner who drew a gun on an aggressive individual at the business back in 2020. And I guess they took his gun away from him at some point, and he's been told to get it back. The owner of the shop, Peter Montequila, argued the Attorney General improperly relied on the incident report since the case was dismissed. And Nerona is also being sued in federal court by the War Guns Right advocate over the state's requirement to demonstrate their need for a permit. The suit claims it violates the Constitution. How long does the Attorney General, if they confiscate something from you, how long do they hang on to it?
Good question.
What's this?
If the Attorney General has confiscated this guy's gun,
Right.
and then the case was dismissed, well, how long does the Attorney General have to return your property?
Well, my understanding of the law is that he doesn't have any time except what is reasonably necessary to effect it.
It's been 3 years, 2.5 years.
Well, then that would be wrong.
Yeah.
Unless there's something they're not telling us that would mitigate that answer. But seriously speaking, no, if the case is dismissed, there's no more cause of action.
Well,
And now and that's the whole thing. They
but
cannot,
this is going to the Supreme Court somehow.
yeah, they cannot confiscate something unless it is in the public interest and safety that
Okay,
it
that's
be
what they
under
did.
that the custody of the items should remain in the hands of the state and not in the private party, and that's when they confiscate things when it meets public safety and concern, and then they can only do so if there is a cause of action. Now, the cause of action goes to the judicial system. The judicial system says, no case here,
Right.
forget about it, see you later. Then there's no cause of action to support the confiscation. Confiscation must be reversed.
But it hasn't happened yet.
As I said, that sounds wrong.
Oh, okay. Obviously, and so does and Peter
Then-
Montequila is going to agree with you there, Dave, because he wants his gun back.
Right.
But at the same time, is the state able to make a case that returning the weapons will
Put
cause
people in harm's
a
way.
clear danger to anyone?
Well, the Supreme Court doesn't agree with that.
Well-
They're saying give it back.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So there is.
Well,
Maybe they forgot the key. Maybe they lost the guns. I don't know. There's all kinds of little coffee shop talk that comes up after this.
That's right. Evidence
You
has
know.
been lost. That's right.
Well, gee whiz, what?
It was right here a minute ago.
Well, we don't want to give it back to them. Did you find them yet?
All right.
I don't know. It's a big room with a lot of stuff in there.
Every time the St. Patrick's Day parade rolls around in Boston, there's always
There's
there's
controversy.
always an issue. And for years it was, do we let the gays be in the parade? Well, now it's, do we let the neo-Nazis be in the parade?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Elected officials in South Boston, they have concerns over the upcoming St. Patrick's Day parade.
Well, yes.
They want to keep it free of hate.
Yes.
And they're hoping to prevent scenes like last year, and I don't remember this from last year, but a reputed neo-Nazi group, NSC 151, displayed a banner just that said, keep, in quotes, keep Boston Irish. Now, if you weren't familiar with this group, would you see that as a hate banner?
Well, it's
Unless
not
they had swastikas on it.
right. If you didn't know who this group was,
Doesn't look like hate.
well,
if you- but
what
if
do
you
they
do
look?
know?
What do they look like? And I hate
Well,
to,
I don't know.
you know, tag folks, but yeah, right.
So,
you could dismiss it as some kind of meaning something else, I guess. But no, I don't think neo-Nazi groups should be allowed to march.
Are you taking away their First Amendment rights?
Well, it's a privately organized parade, isn't it? So, I mean, doesn't the Autumn Fest parade, Autumn Fest committee have the ability to say who can be in the parade and who can't? Would you let this group into the Autumn Fest parade? I don't want to, put that out there, right? But
as a
like,
former
you
chairman of the
can't.
parade, I think I can add a little something to that conversation. You're using it's a facility. It's the streets, right? You're
Right.
using the streets with permission of the governing body for a public assembly and to run a parade. You cannot in any way impinge on any citizens or even non-citizens' right to come and view your parade. But then again, that's your end game anyway, so you wouldn't. As far as who gets into the line of march, that is your business. Can you keep someone from using a public way to insert themselves into your parade on a public street? And these are the discussions that come up. Can you? Yes, if you are not part of the parade, the authority of who's in the parade and who is in the parade has been subordinated to the party putting on the parade by the government, so it has the force of government. If you are not officially in the parade, you do not have the same rights you have when there's no parade going by to use the public thoroughfare. That's how the police have the right to stop anyone from driving into the parade route. So, can they stop someone from being in the parade? Yes. But just like anything else, you can make the rule, but then you have to enforce it. I'm going to use the Autumn Fest parade as an example, and thank God this never happens at the Autumn Fest parade. If you are at Woonsocket Plaza and they say, no, you're not part of the parade, we're not going to allow you in, and you decide to insert yourself at Mendon Road by running a roadblock, well, now you've violated the law, you've run a roadblock, you've not obeyed the lawful command of a police officer. They can stop you, but can you get into the parade and drive down the street till they can pull you out? Yes.
And it's happened.
What's that?
It has happened.
The Autumn Fest parade?
Yes, it has.
Oh, that's interesting. I have heard rumors of it, but I never saw it.
It has.
Because you know where we are. We're at the end.
Yeah, you're near the end.
I never see what happens way up.
But Autumn Fest is a private entity where
Yes.
the South Boston St. Patrick's Day parade, is that a city sponsored?
No.
A private entity puts that on?
I believe the Loyal Order of Hibernians. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. But there is a long-standing group. And remember now, people have tried to shut down the St. Patrick's Parade in South Boston for decades. They refused the permits.
Right.
And things, and then the organizers went to City Hall and said, we want to have a parade to celebrate Evacuation Day. It just so happened that the British left Boston during the Revolutionary War, on the 17th of March, and what was it, 1780, I think it was? No, earlier than that.
Earlier, yeah.
Or way earlier than that, yeah. 1779 maybe. But the deal is, so they went, and on a technicality, they had no way to refuse it.
Okay.
Originally, they were refusing it because of rowdyism and drinking, and the effect that had on the neighborhoods. So now they don't even bother trying to stop it, but maybe someone else is trying to stop it again.
All right. We're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program right now, once again, and it's time for the forecast, which is being sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Increasingly cloudy today with a high of 44 degrees and a breeze from the northwest up to 30 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 27. Tuesday's weather partly sunny and 36. Wednesday, partly sunny and 44. Thursday, mostly cloudy and 43. Friday, sunshine and 46. Saturday, a 50% chance of rain, mostly cloudy and a high of 43. And on Sunday, a 50% chance of rain and snow, mostly cloudy and 41.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, sunny skies and 41 degrees. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. So you're remodeling your home and you want to find just the right flooring. So off you go to DRL Carpet. Why? Because they have the best selection and prices in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. That means you don't have to wait. Plus, it means you can get it installed now. So first you get the best price. Next you get the best service and you get the best selection. Whether you're looking for carpet, tile, hardwood floors, the place to shop is DRL Carpet, 27 Veterans Way, Woonsocket, next to World War II Veterans Memorial Park. DRL Carpet reminds you there's a big difference between getting the job done and getting the job done right. DRL Carpet of Woonsocket.
Hi, this is Dr. Eugenio Fernandez Jr. from Astina's Pharmacy. It's not too late to get your flu shot and the new Cobra booster. You can even get them both in the same visit. Vaccines reduce your risk of serious illness or hospitalization. Protect yourself and those around you. Call your doctor or pharmacy today. For more information, visit health.ri.gov/flu. That's health.ri.gov/flu.
This message is brought to you by the Rhode Island Department of Health and the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
Lou Mandeville here to tell you the only place to get your local high school and college scores, as well as the Pats, Bruins, Celtics, and Sox is on My Morning Sports Reports. And they are right here on ON 1240, Monday through Friday on the Morning Fun Show.
It is Coffee In here on ON Radio. This is Joe Callahan with Dave Richards and Melissa Murray, and it's time to pull our three winners for the Business of the Day contest that we ran during the month of February, and we got quite a lot of entries.
We do.
And Dave even looked out this morning to make sure any last-minute ones did not make it in. None showed up this morning, and all the entries. You want to take one more look? See if any more showed up.
I'm going to go look again
All right. Now all the and we'll take a look. We'll get Melissa in the picture here. You can see the bucket of entries that are in there, and
Lots of entries.
all of them have already been vetted.
Yes.
We've
they
gone
are
through them
correct.
all. They are all the correct entries.
All clear.
All clear. And I kept joking, of course, that spelling counts, but I was just kidding.
It doesn't. But I did point out to you when we were opening envelopes last week, Joe, just how much care and attention some of our
some people
listeners
typed it out.
have taken in sending it to us. I mean, some people just they wrote it out long form as it went along, and that's just fine. As long as we can read it, we don't care. But I admired the almost artistic way that some people very neatly put it all out and grouped them in weeks, and that sort of thing, and then took the sticker with their name on it and put it on top of the address and stuff. Yeah, that was real nice.
All right.
Different colored pens, nice penmanship. saw some Palmer Method graduates in there.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. So Melissa, open up the bucket there.
Okay.
And so we'll have you dig in and pull out one, please. And this will be for the $100 gift certificate. And they get to choose where the $100 comes from after I give them a call and they tell me. Who do we have for a winner for the $100?
The winner is Julia Lemire.
Julia.
Hey, Arthur won this morning.
All right. He won some eggs this morning.
He won eggs, and
What
now
do you
Julia
know?
gets the $100.
Maybe you can get more eggs.
a lot more eggs now.
Wait a minute.
Well, maybe
Well,
not a
not-
lot.
not
Little
that
General
many.
wasn't part of our business of the day. Yeah.
All right, Dave, why don't you pick out one now? This will be
right.
for the $75.
Down to the bottom.
Oh, wait a minute. They wrote Infernal Audio. It's Inferno. No, kidding.
Yeah, don't, Joe, come on.
Being technical here.
Yes, you are. As long as we know they knew, the whole idea was that they listened in
They
and heard.
listened and they
Right.
participated.
If they don't pronounce it right or write it right, that's not that important. I have another one. Here's another one of these that it was very nicely done on a computer. And our winner is Patricia Pilardi of North Smithfield.
All right.
Business of the day. And that would be for the $50?
Nope, this is
that's the
$75.
$75 gift card. We'll get a hold of
Patricia.
Patricia, and the other one was
Julia.
Julia.
we got
And
one
we'll
more.
find out which of our 20 businesses of the day, and they'll know who they
Wanna pick
are.
it, Joe?
'cause
No,
they've
you can
already
pick it,
put
Melissa.
All right. So much pressure.
This will be the
Melissa's
$50
double
one. She's pulled out another piece of
Very
paper,
nice printing here.
all written out nice.
Jean Farquhar.
Hey,
All
what do
right,
you
very
know?
good.
All right.
So
Nice.
congratulations.
Jean Farquhar in Woonsocket?
In
Did I see
Woonsocket.
Woonsocket? In
In Woonsocket.
Yes. Very
Nice.
nice. All right. She's got her name and address, 3 different places.
All right, I'll take that, and I'll just make phone calls to all 3 of those individuals, and we'll find out where they want us to buy their gift certificates from, which is not proper English, but close enough.
From
From
which-
where?
From
From
where?
where?
From
From where,
which of
that's
our
right.
20 businesses of the day
And what
they
we
want us-
and what we normally do is we call the $100 person first.
Yeah.
Say, who do you like? And if they pick someone, then we go to the 75. Okay, pick from the other 19.
Correct.
We like to spread it
Well,
around
that's
a little.
you have
Yeah,
to. Yeah, we
yeah.
like to
Yeah.
spread it around on our sponsors. That's understandable. Yeah.
All right,
We have
so
a lot of great
congratulations.
sponsors.
Sponsors are in on this too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Krakow Deli's been picked 4 times.
And
They're,
they,
over
they're,
the
they're
years as we've
so
done this
good.
contest.
They're so
They
good.
are. Yeah. I'm just saying.
so congratulations and thanks to everyone that tried. And it's always very
Thanks
popular.
for listening. You got to listen. You got to put some work into this.
There's a lot of effort
You
to
got
put
to
into
go
it.
find those little nuggets of BOD-ness that Melissa puts up on the social media.
But that makes it easy to find if you missed a day.
If you,
Just
yeah,
go
right.
back and there it
Sometimes
is.
life gets in the way. You get busy, so we don't want you to miss out.
All right, back to things going on in the news, and we brought this up on I think on Friday. We talked about the Registry of Motor Vehicles in Brockton, Mass. Well, now and how they were giving away licenses to people that did not pass the test.
Oh gosh.
Hundreds of them, by the way. Well, now the manager at that particular registry is going to plead guilty. Her name is Mia Cox Johnson, accused of taking money to give passing test scores for learner's permits for regular and commercial driver's license. She has agreed to plead guilty to the federal charges.
Wow.
What makes you wonder what kind of deal she got? If you
Yeah.
plead guilty, no jail time.
Right. Or who
all
else is
right.
in on it? Or
There's someone
yeah,
else,
Right. It's not just one person.
No,
right? You can't
it's
do
someone
that.
else. She was the manager of the RMV, and there was someone else that was probably actually doing the actual get your license permit kind of thing.
Right. So it was
but they
commercial
were-
licenses as well.
Yes, I didn't realize that. I thought it was
Ooh.
just regular driver's licenses, but now it's
So-
commercial driver licenses.
So do they take those people? Do they know who those people are, and do they rescind their licenses until they can pass the test? That's
Another good
problems.
question. I think
Big
they
bag
were
of
trying
problems.
when this first came to light, and it was over a year ago. I think they were trying to do that. We're gonna go back and notify all these people that they got to come
Right.
back and try it again.
Well, the DMV told me that they gave me my license. I paid for it. They put it in my hand.
That's right. So,
Oh,
Mine came in the mail some weeks later.
problems.
and it was all a money deal.
Yeah,
was
all
all-
that money,
You know,
greediness.
a little something on the side, please, and we'll move along. You
It
would think
happens.
That is not
You're
a good
right.
side hustle.
no, but you would think the manager of the RMV would be paid pretty decently, but maybe
6
not.
figures.
You would think so.
When you make 6 figures, it's just not enough,
It's
Joe.
just not
How
enough
do you make
anymore.
ends meet?
I don't know.
I mean, the boat
you could-
costs money, and the RV costs money,
And the 3
Have you seen the
cars?
the cost of gasoline for those RVs?
But you
gotta
don't get
put-
taxed on the boat, though.
You got to put
You
bread
don't
on the
get
table.
taxed
you know?
on the boat.
You don't get taxed on luxury boats.
In Massachusetts.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe if you have your boat in Rhode Island, you don't. But
I didn't know.
Pretty
as
good
a whole,
Pretty good lobby, huh?
I think there should
But
be a boat
they'll
tax.
tax me on my 12-foot dinghy with a 10-horse Johnson, but they won't tax. They won't tax the luxury yachts.
No, yeah, right, yeah, no.
Okay, got it.
And that's why you see so many mass boats down in Rhode Island waters.
That's exactly probably
Yeah.
the reason.
Is it?
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
yes.
It was what's it? John Kerry
Yeah,
had his boat registered
Yes.
in Rhode Island.
of course.
For that exact same reason.
Yes.
All right, it's all coming back to me now.
I mean,
That's
people aren't fools.
All right.
You know.
They're just, hey, if it's going to be allowed, we're going to do it.
Right.
So they're not breaking the law. They're not skirting the law.
No,
They're actually
they
adhering to it,
They got to
so-
drive down to Rhode Island to get their boat.
That's
so
right.
far,
All right.
it's more than 20 minutes. I'm not going.
So with this knowledge firmly in place and this example glowing in your face, why would anyone in the legislature decide, all right, now we've got to penalize, we got to get 75% tax rate for people who make an awful lot of money, knowing what happened with the boats? What thinking legislator would vote for that insanity?
What are you talking about? 75% tax?
Well, that's where you're going anyway.
No, oh gosh,
Whatever.
no.
It's an example. I'm trying to make a short conversation.
Right. It's only an extra 3%.
Oh, yeah, an extra 3% on top of 28%.
No,
You think
no,
they're
no,
not
no,
going to
no,
weasel
no.
out of that one, too?
Oh, well, they're trying.
Yes,
Yeah,
there
they're
you
trying.
go.
But I am too.
All right. In Rhode Island, we're going to move on to transit right now and transportation.
Big deal in Rhode Island right now.
The Senate Oversight Committee. Are you on that committee?
I am not.
Okay. The Senate Oversight Committee is holding a hearing today regarding the Rhode Island Public Transit Authority. Senate President Dominic Ruggiero wants Scott Avedisian out, citing concerns about the operations of the agency. Avedisian has said he will not step down. And both men are expected to attend the hearing today. So they're going to put up the ring and make it a cage match.
It's going to be an interesting hearing.
Yeah.
Senate oversight is, of course, always interesting because that's where they approve our Senate rules, which sometimes can get a little contentious.
Can
Like
it?
a couple of
Okay.
years ago, when they implemented a dress code, which I don't agree with, but I adhere to, which is a whole other conversation. But I'm not on oversight. I'm on finance. That takes up a lot of time. I don't think you could be on both. It'd just be too much.
Okay.
It'd just be too much. But yeah, that's where all the hot button issues go. And then when there's an issue, like when DHS was closed and not answering people's calls, and they were on hold for many hours, people couldn't get their benefits. There was an oversight hearing.
Okay.
So
they're gonna talk about the operation of the whole RIPTA agency, and
then
I mean,
the
it's
committee
not-
will ask questions, and
it's
they'll
not great. I mean,
Right.
it's not terrible though.
Right. So they'll get all of that information, and the committee will really drill down and ask questions, and it'll be interesting for those of you who are interested in those type of hearings.
All
It's
right.
definitely more exciting than a finance committee meeting, right?
We just have that the hearing's going to be today. I don't have a time of
I
when this
don't
will
know.
take place.
I don't know.
Okay. So that's what's going on for the RIPTA agency in Massachusetts. Massachusetts State Auditor Diana DeZaglio plans to review the MBTA starting later this month. Could take a look at that. She says the performance audit will look at various issues, including safety risk management. The focus of the auditor's investigation will be the years 2021 and 2022. T management has indicated the agency will cooperate. They'll be looking into why they caught on fire. And,
Right.
I mean, at least RIPTA doesn't have those issues.
Yeah.
One of our buses caught on fire. That
Yeah,
hasn't
yeah.
happened, so that's good.
Knock on wood.
So
It's not.
the T has issues, and so speaking of the T, Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey says a new MBTA general manager will be hired soon. And would you want that job?
No,
My goodness, I would
absolutely
not. Want
not.
that job. And that's
Absolutely
that's gonna be a
not.
six-figure job too.
Right, and
But,
I
oh
mean,
my gosh.
who? No, are folks lining up to take these jobs?
Well, she says her search team is near completion of what she described as a thorough process. Now,
Okay.
how many applied? I don't know.
Right, good question.
Looks like it went nationwide. The T has been trouble plagued in recent years with incidents including derailments, fires, frequent service disruptions, and a fatal incident. I don't know where the fatal incident
and
was.
you're
I don't remember
inheriting
it.
all those
That issue.
problems, and you're going to fix them, and folks will want you to fix them in a short amount of time. And,
Right away.
That search would have to be nationwide.
You're not going to pick someone, like straight out of college who's got absolutely no experience with any kind of transit situation. There was another, I'm trying to find
Probably
this.
scoop them up from some other transit agency
You would think
in
that.
another part of the country.
And so speaking of the T, a Rockland, Massachusetts man is accused of kicking out a window on the red line. So these are the issues you got to deal with. This happened last week. And police say 51-year-old Christopher Kaczynski also pulled a fire alarm before his arrest early yesterday morning at the North Quincy station. The window that was smashed was attached to the train's door. He's expected to be arraigned on multiple charges today in Quincy District Court. And
And those are the types of things like how do you control that out of control person? So many people use public transit.
I know.
All types of folks, and
I've been on the red line and the orange line and the green line, and the only person I ever see for the T is the person driving the train. I see other people's on the train on the commuter line because they're coming around collecting money to see if you paid to be there. But on the regular subway lines, geez, I don't see anybody there.
No, you don't.
So how do you keep that from going? I don't know.
Well, they could say, we'll put one.
Well, hire.
We'll hire people.
To what? To be,
Just
to be in every car?
Can't do that.
It's impossible.
Also, you can't find the personnel.
You wouldn't be able
Nobody
to
can find the
everybody.
personnel right now.
So, all right. That's what's going on with the T. That's what's going on with RIPTA.
All these unsolvable problems that we talked about today.
And if you want a job, quick, Maura Healy's looking for a general manager at the T. Get your resume in soon because the search committee is narrowing it down its applicants.
No, thanks.
No, I wouldn't want that job. All right, more Coffee Ain't coming your way. Please stay tuned.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
At the turn of this century, 27% of people who passed away were cremated. By the year 2020, that figure rose to 56%. The Cremation Association of America projects that by the year 2040, 4 out of 5 Americans will choose cremation over a casket burial. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center of Woonsocket can answer your questions about the cremation process. Go online to providencecremation.com. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center on Spring Street, Woonsocket. Let them create the perfect service for your loved one. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
It is Coffee Ain't here on ON AM and FM. This is Joe Callan here with Melissa Murray. Dave Richards is bopping in and out every once in a while. All right, this is not good news, Melissa. More than half of the world's population is on track to be considered overweight or obese by the year 2035.
Not good.
Half the population. It's a new report from the World Obesity Federation. And there is such a thing.
Okay.
This is out of the United Kingdom, by the way. And they note a concerning rise in childhood obesity rates. Based on current trends, childhood obesity could double from 2020 levels. Obesity can lead to numerous health issues. As you know, high blood pressure, coronary heart disease, stroke, diabetes, breathing problems, and clinical depression.
And isn't it ironic that we know how, we have the ability to have people living longer these days, and yet we're cutting our own lives short. And I blame the packaged food industry. It's all about these, like cheap foods. And it's funny because, well, it's not funny, but it's interesting that in more developed countries, so-called developed countries, the poorer people are overweight and the richer people are thinner, where it usually would typically have been the other way around. And that's because of the foods that like folks in poverty are able to buy are terrible for you, like mac and cheese, stuff out of the box, stuff out of a can. Fresh food. It's really expensive to eat healthy in the United States.
Is.
It's like it's
God,
insane.
it's
And I try, we all try our best, but it's nearly impossible. It's really, really expensive to eat healthy in the United States, and to eat poorly is so easy and cheap and convenient.
I was just in the grocery store this weekend. You look at in the cookie aisle, and
which is like a whole aisle.
It's a whole aisle, basically.
Right.
But you look at them, you go, 2 packages for $6.
Yeah.
But you want to buy 5 apples, and you're spending 10.
Yeah.
And the cookie's going to last longer.
Right.
It's like,
You do literally eat an apple a day, though. I did notice that about you.
I try
and
to.
I think that's
try to
great.
eat
I always see you eating an
day.
apple.
Because they're delicious.
They are.
But yeah, you know what else I blame is it's our phones, and it's the convenience of and everyone says it. Oh, just stay home and we'll bring it to you.
Yeah.
Food,
DoorDash,
shopping,
all that stuff.
everything.
Right.
Don't go out.
Instacart, right? You don't even have to get in your car.
That's right. I mean, you should at least walk to your car and drive somewhere.
And probably
do a few
farther than
more
your car
steps.
if you're physically able to do that. Says me, who walks like once every other year. I'm not perfect, but
I know. So, but it's constant, and driving in on 146A. It's either, and this is not a slam against McDonald's or Burger King,
right.
But on their outside sign, it even says, "Stay home, we'll bring it to you." Go to our app and order the food that way. It is, but I just chalk that up to as part of the issue, part of the problem, with the obesity rate. Okay, Dave, do you got something to announce?
I just got off the phone, Joe. That's why I wasn't
okay.
here participating. I just got off the phone with our 3 winners of the business of the day.
All 3?
All 3 I got through.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
great.
I'm one of them. I had to leave a message, and they got right back to me.
Okay. Was anybody listening?
The first 2 said they were. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. Julia Lemire was listening in. She heard her name called, and she waited patiently for my phone call. And she said, "What took you so long, Dave?" But she's going to get her $100 gift card from Tasca Buick GMC.
Really? Wow.
$100 gift card from Tasca. You have to go out and buy that today. And then Patricia Pillardi, Pat Pillardi, I always called her, over in North Smithfield, she chose the Broster House.
Very nice.
Nice.
Who was business of the day on the 24th for her $75 gift card. And Jean Farquhar has selected, as so many have done before her, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse on Social Street for her $50 gift card. And Marta will be certainly
So
very
pleased.
pleased about that. Sure, that's for sure.
All right.
So that's the results. And thanks again for playing. We'll do business of the day again, I'm sure, next year because it's just a really popular thing.
All right. So there's a...
Can I mention a couple of other things?
Oh, sure.
While
Go
we're
ahead.
at it,
Yeah.
I have a couple of other topics people might be interested in. Again, by way of shameless self-promotion, plans are in the works right now, and they're going very nicely, I should say, for our second Senior Resource Fair. Last year, we were bowled over by how successful it was, and so were the vendors.
Mm-hmm.
They were very, very pleased with the turnout of people coming out to our Senior Resource Fair, where we gather together people who can do you some good if you are along in years. and there hasn't been a single one of the vendors who has decided not to come back. They're very, very pleased. We made a couple of tweaks to make it a little bit better. We noticed our crowd was very, very early crowd last year. So we're moving the hours. Last year we were 11 to 2. We're moving the hours to 9 to 12 this year. At the Elks on Social Street, so it's handicap accessible, plenty of parking, blah, blah. And that's coming up on Saturday, April 15th, the Saturday after Easter Sunday, which worked well for us last year. So the things that worked really well, we're doing it just the same way, and the things that could have used some tweaking, we tweaked them.
All right.
And so that's coming up, and I thought we'd mention that. And also, I got a note here on my email from Joe Lembo. Everybody knows who he is. Joe, working for Channel 12 these days. At one time, we were both working together in this business.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe has sent out the class of 2023 for the Rhode Island Broadcasting Hall of Fame, Radio TV Hall of Fame. Didn't know if you were dying of curiosity, and should I mention these names?
Actually, I am curious.
Uh-huh. Well, she just left her job at Channel 12, and now she's in the Hall of Fame. Danielle North.
All right.
All right. Chris Camp from WPRO Radio News. Doug Palmieri. I don't know Doug Palmieri. He's one of the people in the business I've never met.
He's from that rock and roll station in Providence.
iHeart, a media program director,
Yep.
and on air at WHJY and WSNE.
Yes.
Then a good old friend of ours for many, many years, John Parenti, will be in the Hall of Fame
wow.
now. He's vice president of DePonte Communications, and that's down in Westerly. And then Gene Valicenti, I couldn't believe he wasn't in already.
Yeah.
Gene
Yeah.
Valicenti is part of the class of 23. Pam Watts, remember her from WEAM?
Channel 6.
Channel 6
Yeah.
and Rhode Island PBS. Pam Watts will be in this class of 23. And Jack White,
Channel
posthumously.
12?
Yeah.
Okay.
From Channel 12, investigative reporter.
Nice.
So that is the class of 23. There'll be a press conference with many of those people in attendance coming up next month. And then the actual induction ceremony, dinner, and gala will be in September. We'll tell you more about it as time goes along, and we rejoice in the good successes of our colleagues in the business.
All right. Very good. All right. Anybody a fan of the Rachel Ray talk show?
No, but she's a happy person. I like her.
She's ending her show.
Yeah, so she can spend more time with her dogs.
17 seasons.
Like her dog.
She's got more than 17 dogs.
Yeah. 17 years in daytime syndication.
Really? That's a long
that's a
time.
grind.
Yeah.
That's really a grind.
Time to move on to the, quote, next exciting chapter in her broadcasting career, and that her passion has evolved from the talk show format.
I certainly hope that she's put away a couple of shekels, because feeding 17 dogs is really expensive.
Well, she's going to
Really have
launch.
17
Oh, I don't know, but it seems like she does.
She's going to launch a new production company, Free Food Studios.
Well,
That doesn't say what she's
how do you
going to
make
produce.
money with free food is the question I ask.
I don't know.
Okay. Maybe
There-
other people will ask the same question.
There's a professor at the University of South Florida. He's trying to set a world record. Associate Professor Joseph DeTuri wants to live underwater for 100 days.
You can do that, and the Aquarius habitat is right off the shores from where he works.
The 55-year-old is living 30 feet below sea level in
Right.
Key Largo at Jules Undersea Lodge.
That's a different place. Okay.
Two Tennessee professors set the record of 73 days in 2014. Now, this professor, DeTuri, wants to do more than just set a record. He says he wants to see if being exposed to increased pressure will lead to health improvements that could offset aging. DeTuri says he suspects the cure to many diseases can be found in undiscovered organisms in the ocean.
Well, a lot of people
Nice theory.
think that. A lot of, and that's why marine
prove,
biology
though.
is getting to be a very hot subject in places like
Mm-hmm.
University of Rhode Island and other places where they teach that. And having rubbed elbows with those pointy-headed folks
Mm-hmm.
for quite a few years when I was working with them, I'll tell you that they're very sincere in what they're doing. I actually produced and edited a program at the Aquarius Undersea Water Habitat, which is basically it's in the Miami area. If I said the exact name, people wouldn't know because it's a small place. But in the general Miami area, and you can go there and you can do your thing underneath the sea there. And let me just tell you, it's not what you think it is. You have to get your body adjusted
to the
to
pressure.
different gases. You're dealing with concerns of weather above, because then your supplies don't come. And you have to concern yourselves with lots of things. It's very much like being in outer space, where you have to bring your own air, you have to filter your own air, you have to take care of your own waste, you have to take care of what to do, you have to make sure you have power, and all the rest of those things. So
All right.
it's not the same. And a trip out for milk and eggs is not the same as it is on land.
So I have so many questions. I have so
Does this
many
fascinate you?
questions. Yes, it does fascinate
It fascinated me. I was interested to learn about it.
Okay, all right. So he'll be living underwater, 30 feet down. Presumably, will come up for supplies to
No.
change the air.
No, they drop.
I think they're going to send it
They
down.
drop
to him.
down.
They send it down, so you're switching.
Now, this place, if I remember, I didn't do any studying on this place off Largo, but I understand from things I've heard from others is that they have cables from shore, so that if there is a hurricane or something else like that, you're not relying on a boat that has to go duck for cover when bad weather comes, which is what the case was with Aquarius. So that would be a little bit safer, a little less nerve-wracking. And all you got to do is just get out there, adjust your body to the pressure, adjust your body to the different gases that you'll be breathing for your health, and then hope your ears pop.
Yeah, really.
Seriously.
All right, we've come to the end of the program. We got to run. I'm sure Melissa's got more questions about this.
I'm going to Google this. All right.
But we thank you for listening in, everyone. Thanks for congratulations to our 3 winners for the business of the day. We'll be getting your gift cards very, very soon.
Yeah,
And
I'll
out
be
to
doing
you.
that this morning.
That'll be great. And
Also,
Melissa,
Dave Almeida is going to come in for his photo shoot and his prize from the
Dead Presidents.
Dead Presidents contest. Yeah.
All right, Melissa, thanks for
Wonderful.
coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, Dave, thanks for sticking around.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Stay tuned for At the Library with Leslie Page and Food First with Karen Zangari. It's all next on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. The Rhode Island